Your Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, Head of the Commonwealth, and His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor George Maxwell Richards, and Her Excellency, Dr. Jean Ramjohn Richards, our outgoing Chairman, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda, esteemed heads of state and government, other heads of delegations, Secretary General of the Commonwealth, His Excellency Kamalesh Sharma, Secretaries of State and Ministers of Government, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of delegations, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Trinidad and Tobago is proud and privileged to be the host of the 2009 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. On behalf of all our citizens, I extend a very warm welcome to all visitors to our country for this CHOGM. We are especially honored by the presence of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and His Royal Highness Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. We are also profoundly pleased to have with us our highly esteemed leaders of the Commonwealth countries, some accompanied by their spouses. We welcome the Secretary General, Ministers of Government, Secretaries of State, delegations, the media, and all other participants and visitors. We wish everyone a most enjoyable stay in Trinidad and Tobago in the midst of the very important work that lies ahead. And you permit me, ladies and gentlemen, to extend a special welcome to one of the luckiest men I know in the entire world. He is Prime Minister Kevin Rudd of Australia. It was 0 for 1, then it was dropped catches. He is indeed very lucky. And if he does not understand what I mean by that, I would suggest he has a discussion with the very distinguished Prime Minister of India, President Manmohan Singh, a country from which a Trinidad and Tobago cricket team has just returned, with results that I'm sure he will be pleased to share with my good friend from Australia. And in all of this, ladies and gentlemen, I notice that there is a curious and deafening silence from the very distinguished Prime Minister Gordon Brown of Great Britain. And by his silence, he's demonstrating that indeed he is a man of great wisdom. You will permit me also to welcome to Trinidad and Tobago a very dear friend, President Jakaya Kikwete of Tanzania. I told President Kikwete that if he did not turn up in Port of Spain for CHOGM, we will consider it a very hostile act with consequences for Tanzania that will be too horrendous to contemplate. I'm very pleased indeed that he is here, and we are saved from all of that. And finally, my dear friends, in September of this year in New York, I was privileged enough to meet Prime Minister Mohamed Nasheed of Maldives. I recognized then that he was a very talented man. What I did not know was that included among his many attributes was a submarine inclination. Imagine, my dear friends, hosting a cabinet meeting underwater. As we say in Trinidad and Tobago, well, yes. I welcome him also, as indeed I welcome all my other colleagues. As with the recent Summit of the Americas, Trinidad and Tobago's hosting of this Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting is a CARICOM initiative. This reinforces our region's commitment to a strong Commonwealth, the multilateral approach in international affairs, and to partnering for a more equitable and sustainable future. Partnership is needed more than ever before. We meet at a time of continuing challenges for the international community, and these include a global economy struggling to emerge from recessionary conditions, climate change producing natural disasters of unprecedented magnitude and threatening humanity with acute food and water shortages, the increasing need to provide energy security for a world population heading towards 9.2 billion by the year 2050, transnational crime, particularly involving illegal arms and drugs, terrorism that continues unabated with the most horrendous consequences, conflicts and tensions that render global stability very fragile, and nuclear proliferation that could obliterate human civilization. It is the inescapable responsibility of our meeting to engage in meaningful examination of these and other critical issues. The prognosis is for a slow return to the growth for the world economy, and therefore lower revenues and high levels of unemployment will likely persist, straining the social fabric, particularly in the developing world. Here, poverty and underdevelopment will continue, starvation and malnourishment will increase, and many millions of children will die in Commonwealth countries as a result of the present situation. This is totally unacceptable, and we in the Commonwealth must play our part toward global corrective action. My friends, there is some hope. And it comes from the recent meetings of the G20 nations, among which are 5 members of our Commonwealth family. We congratulate these nations on the role they are playing to prevent a recurrence of the global financial crisis, to restructure the international financial institutions to make them more inclusive and sensitive to differing levels of development, and to make financial resources for growth more accessible to countries of the developing world. These are all signs of a silver lining in the present cloud over the global economy. The Commonwealth must play its part towards the fulfillment of this promise, which must not turn out to be another agonizing illusion. Very significantly, the essentiality of partnership has been clearly demonstrated in the approach to the present crisis. It was joint action between the industrialized and emerging countries that brought us back from the brink.